Well. Welcome to another episode of How to Bottle 3 Points. Everton draw to Newcastle in a game they comfortably had in hand. All the way up until 93 minutes. Looking at some Twitter images of the scoreboard right before that fateful 94th minute. Man, this was as I was watching this game, it reminded me of the Everton, the West Ham. I can't remember if it was away or at home last season, where we just thrashed them and we should have been up, 4 or 5-0. And this game was starting to feel like that a little bit. I mean, as soon as the first ball was kicked, I could tell Newcastle just looked straight garbage, man. Like I was like, if we don't get this win, we're crap, and we were just all over them. For whatever reason, I mean, we had a coherent attack. Like the midfield didn't look quite as crap as it did the last game. We're we were making a conscious effort to thread balls through the middle. They weren't playing so lethargically from the back. Schneiderlin was making those beautiful crosses to the wing back or to the wingers, and he was even threading balls through. It was just all looking beautiful, man. Bernard was just wearing them out, cutting in from the I think his left, our left, viewing the game. And Newcastle just didn't have an answer for any of it really. They looked better in the reverse fixture, and King got his first goal. I mean, he was. I think if we'd got the win, he would have been in the man of the match talks. Him and Bernard would be fighting it out for man of the match. I mean, King was running. He was a man on a mission. I mean, he had put the effort in. He was holding the ball up, not giving it away easily. He still had some issues with his first touch here and there, but he was just giving maximum effort, chasing balls down, pressing. His link up with Calvert-Lewin was better today, man. Bernard, on his goal, Calvert-Lewin heads a ball kind of down, gets it to Bernard, and Bernard does a beautiful, just over-the-top ball to get it to King. King kind of fluffs it a little bit, almost made a mess of it, but got the ball away real quick just as the defenders were getting to him, and he scored, man. I was, I'm working here, but I had to be quiet as I just, you could just see it all over his face. He was completely excited. It meant a lot to him, you could tell, and the hope is that just carries him on to bigger and better things. He gets a little more comfortable having the weight of haven't scored my first goal yet. So just really good to see him get that goal. And then going at the half, 1-0 comfortable, come out, pick up right where we left off. Just taking it to him. Newcastle just, man, I can't believe they have the same points as us. Anyway, DCL scores. Good to see him keeping on, putting the ball in the back of the net. There really wasn't anything bad for 93 minutes. I mean, everybody was on. Like, Walcott was on. He was doing his thing. I mean, he still was not a threat to score, but he was causing trouble down on his side, on his flank. I can't really think of any passengers in that game. Everybody was on. And then the subs happened, and that was where it started to look a little weak. I mean, Carlos subbed on the first sub. He subbed Coleman on, and took off Bernard, I think, which was kind of fine. I mean, solidified things. Then he subbed off another player, Keane, I think, and brought on Davies. I may have those subs mixed up, but those are the two players went off, and the two that came on. And the Davies sub was a little bit of risk in my mind just because we still had about 7 minutes left in the game or something like that, and Davies, like I said in the last video, I think I said in the last video, Davies is starting to make me a little nervous just because he's always giving the ball away. And I don't think those two subs helped us when it came down to that last minute. I can't blame them too. I think there was a foul for the first goal, man. I don't know what led to that corner. I was working and I just thought the game was in hand, right? So I wasn't even looking at the screen. I thought we had it. Turn around. This dude's doing a wheel kick. and it's 2-1. And it's 2-1. And then then I am paying attention and then I'm just thinking, okay, hold the ball. We got this. 2-1, okay, you get a garbage goal here at the end. Doesn't mean anything. Nope. I think it ended up on to Delph somehow. We kicked the ball back. We hoof it down. Something like that. It ends up in the middle of the pitch. And then I forget. I don't even want to see because I'm just going to be mad if I look back at this. But somebody committed a foul in the middle of the park. And they get a free kick. And I'm like, oh, man, here we go. And lo and behold, they get it down there into the box. And then this freaking pinball, ball's bouncing around. Pickford's all the way back in his net trying to defend it. The ball, they kick it in. He's pushing it out from a foot or 3 feet. I don't know how many yards back from the line he is. Pushing it out. And then, signal that it crossed. And it's 2-2. And he's just stunned. I mean, there's been other games where I've been watching Everton, and I think one of those, there was one at Bournemouth away. I was watching it with my in-laws, I remember, and we were comfortably. It was a back and forth game, but it looked like we had it. Ross Barkley goes over, celebrates, takes a little too long. They come out and tie it back up, and that draw felt like a loss. I remember that being one of the early games I as an Everton fan and been like, man, I never felt like this. Like, we didn't even lose, but I felt like we lost. And this upped the ante on that. Like, I was, after seeing us dominate so completely, like utter domination, Newcastle should have just, for 93 minutes, Newcastle could have just stayed in the locker room and just came out for the 1 minute, because that's how dominant we were. They didn't have to be on the pitch. We were slicing through. And then the two Keystone Cop goals. I'm a little bit off of Tom Davies now. I don't know what you do to offset his aloofness or his. I can't say whether or not he's just too casual on the ball, and maybe I'm even blaming him, and he shouldn't. And then he didn't even do anything to directly affect those goals. But I just don't like that sub, and I felt like because I saw an error happen in the middle of the field, I bet he was part of it. I don't know. Bad on me for not knowing it, and blaming the guy, and I don't really know. But I'm what I did see of him. Even when he was playing, he wasn't making too many mistakes. He was okay, but I'm just like, why bring him on? We were fine. Didn't have to bring Davies on. And then Pickford. I think I'm at that point where I haven't really complained a lot about Pickford on here, just because I've never in my mind have I thought like we could get anything better. But now I'm starting to think we gotta start shopping for somebody better, because his shot stopping is getting to be okay, right? Like, you can see some goals where he's not in position, but he's never made me feel comfortable during set pieces. Like, I see so many other teams' goalies against us when we're doing set piece. They come out and they just command the ball. They come out, grab it, they punch it away. Pickford on the first goal punches it, or maybe it was the second one. No, the first one, he punches it, and it just kind of floats over to another one of their players who keeps it in, rings it around, wheel kick. And it's like, Pickford, dude, like, get the ball out of danger. Like, I don't know. Pickford, maybe we don't have any options, but I kind of am off of Pickford too. I got a problem with Pickford. maybe I don't know if Lossell just isn't good. I know Joe Virginia is too young. You know, um, Stecklenburg, probably average. But we got a little bit of a goalie issue if we want to be competing in European places for the Champions League. I mean, that's a dream, but it ain't going to be with Pickford if we going that far. So I'm just going to choose to leave this here. Like, I'm going to pretend. I'm not going to pretend. I'm just not going to acknowledge that last minute of play. Those first 93 minutes, if you want to stay sane, you have to just take it and be positive about what you saw there, because Carlo Ancelotti, even Marco Silva, had always talked about the team not being brave, not being willing to make the forward passes, being confident, playing quicker, and they did that. I mean, granted, it was against Newcastle, and even if we'd won, I'd still have to give that caveat to this. It was against Newcastle, and they're missing players, and they're not that great. They got the same points as us, so maybe we're just not that great. But just have to take those 93 minutes and hold on to it for dear life and be like, this is who we are. This is being an Everton fan. This 93 minutes, not the 1 minute where it all unraveled and collapsed. Sheesh, man. I'm not thinking about no Everton curses, none of that. For 93 minutes, we dominated. Newcastle didn't belong on the field with us. That's what I'm holding on to. That's what I suggest you hold on to, fellow Everton fans. Those 93 minutes. I'm sure all week and all for this 10-day break, I think there's a break now, we're going to hear about the 1 minute a lot and the frailty of the players and all that. But, man, we got a new manager. We got Carlo Ancelotti. I ain't got time to stay stressed about, how weak-minded players are and everything. It happens. It happened. We're in transition. That's a fact. And got to stay positive, or else I can't keep rooting for Everton if I want to just take the negative track, because it's like I said, that hurt my heart. Anyway, we got a point, and we played well. We were looking nice. If we bring that effort if we can consistently bring the effort of those 93 minutes, we're looking good. Get healthy. Onwards and upwards after that, Up the toffees.